Hi, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and apologies for being a little late. It's been one of those days. I had to take my husband to the airport this morning because he was flying off to the States, and of course traffic was not behaving itself. Anyway, I'm here now, and today we have another Stamping and Creating. So I'm just quickly making sure that I am live, which I appear to be, which is good, which is what I want. And today I'm going to feature a card that I made. I made it on Monday, and then I talked the acorns through this as part of our craft and chat on Monday morning. So I opted to use for this particular sample the Adorable Owls stamp set, which is one of the stamp sets that you can get as part of Sale-A-Bration. For those of you who don't know, Sale-A-Bration is something that Stampin' Up run. Well, they usually run it once a year. A couple of years they did actually run it twice a year, but we've gone back to one, which is actually good. I much prefer it to be once a year. So then you know it really is a special event. So yeah, once a year. It runs from January, 5th of January to the end of February. And it's a way of getting some free stuff. I mean, we all like free stuff, let's face it. Can't say no to free stuff. So and the way it works is that there are various ways that you can get some free stuff. You can shop with me, you can join the acorns, or you can host an event. And I'm not really going to talk about the joining or the hosting, although I have to say that the current joining offer is absolutely brilliant. It's, you get, like, I can't remember now. I wrote it down because I know what my head's doing at the moment. So you, for the joining offer at the moment, it's £170 worth of goodies of your choice from any of the catalogues, and you pay £99. Alternatively, you can choose to add a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine, and you will have seen that in action on some of my YouTube and Facebook lives. And that means that you actually get that effectively half price, because you're going to pay £125, but you still get to choose £170 worth, and then you get the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and you can choose the normal white, or you can opt. There's a special exclusive colour just for this celebration, which is boho blue, and I don't have it. And I don't even have anything in boho blue because it's one of the new colours that will be available as part of the new catalogue when it comes out in May. So it will be one of the 2023 to 2025 in colours. But anyway, I digress. As I said, I wasn't going to talk about that, but it's too good an opportunity not to mention it to you. But what I am using today is, as I said, this Adorable Owls stamp set, which you can get for free with a £45 spend. And it's, as it says, Adorable Owls, and they are adorable. I mean, I have to say, I've been playing with it for the last few days, and I've come up with some really sweet cards, and I'll show you all those at the end of this. But this is the card that I want to talk you through. And this one actually uses some of the paper that's also available in Sale-A-Bration. So if you go towards the back of the catalogue, it's in the £90 spend, but it's a mega pack of 12. It is 12 by 12 paper. I'll show you some in a minute. So it's 12 by 12 paper, and there's 48 sheets. And it coordinates with all sorts of colours. So we have Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. So there's something there for everyone. So on one side you'll find that there's, well, actually I don't really know that it's not kind of identical all the way through, I have to say. So this is some of the paper that I do have left. I can't believe that I've gone through whole of one pack and then almost another pack. So this is the paper. So as you say, so it's sort of geometric shapes on one side, but not on all of them. And then they've got some little flowers. So this is fresh freesia. And then we've got some checked, some plaid on another. And again, we've just got some like squares, stars. And then again, some more checks, small stars. So some of the designs are repeats, but seemingly that stars has that on one side, whereas this star has flowers on. And then we've got, you can't really see this too well. Don't know if you can, if I hold it up to the camera, you can just make out the little hexagons on there. So there's hexagons on one side, and we've got some chevron lines, chevron wiggly lines. Anyway, on the other, so that was pale papaya. I would say pale papaya. And then we've got, so this is the mango melody. So we've got the cubes, and we've got stripes, granny apple green. We've got other stripes, and then these dots, which I really like because it's you've got also all sorts of colours here. So you've got the balmy blue, you've got the granny apple green, you've got fresh freesia. And my camera does not do it any justice, but hey. So that's what that one looks like. And then some more wiggly lines. And I'm not quite sure. These kind of look like crosses, kisses, but they alternate in colour. So you've got light and dark. So it kind of comes up with this sort of boxed check effect, which is really good. And then what I don't have anymore is the balmy blue sheets. I do have some scrap. Let's see, quickly find it. So the scrap that I do have left is we've got some of the plaid, and then that's more like the hexagons. Actually, this is more like Coastal Cabana. And then those are the squares with the other squares on the other side. And that's pretty much it. So there's 48 sheets. So there's 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. So there's lots for everyone. So you can use it for all sorts. I mean, here they've used it for Easter, the fresh freesia, and what do I want to say, the mango melody. Although some of it actually looks a lot paler, more like Daffodil Delight or so saffron. Can be used for baby cards, all sorts of things. So there's it's something that you can use for whatever occasion that you have. But anyway, so that's the paper that I've used. That's the stamp set that I've used. And then the other thing for this card that I have used is my layering circle dies. So they look like this. Mine are a bit of a pickle because I literally just picked them up the other day and just sort of threw them in the packet so that I knew that I wasn't going to lose them. So there are 8 scallops, and I want to say 8 plain. Let's see, does it say 16? Yep, 16. So there's 8 scallops. So and they all nest in each other, so you can have a variety of sizes. So we've got 4 there. 1, 2, no, we've got 3 there. Put that one on there, and then we have these as well. So that was what I used to actually cut this particular portion. And in fact, from memory, I used the largest of them, so I'm going to keep that one out. Card is incredibly simple to make. You may not think so, but it is. So I'm going to leave that there as a sort of a reminder. Now, because I'm going to be putting through a larger piece of paper to cut this circle out, so the focal point, this design will not go through the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine. So just be warned. So if you get your mini machine out and can't get it to go through, sorry. For this particular one, yeah, I'm afraid we're going to have to stick to the normal size. But Anyway, so I am going to make this, and I'll show you how. So I'll just throw my dies around, and then the question is what colour. And I've already got some sort of squares because I cut my paper pack into 6x6s. So we have this with the smaller dots on, and we have, let's see, that's that. Or we can go very jazzy with the flowers on and the plaid. I would suggest when you're doing it is don't have too fussy a background when you're doing this. And something in light. I wouldn't use that as my background there, because I think that would just it would distract you too much, and certainly I wouldn't use something like that. I might use it on the top. I think that could look quite cool. But I've actually got quite a few bits of this, so you know what, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use both sides. So it's going to be like that one. So those are my 2 pieces of card. Now I need to find some cardstock. I had a whole load of it here in front of me, and here we go. Let's see if I've got anything in here that I can use. So I've got some Mango Melody, so that would work. Not sure that here we go, I've got some Fresh Freesia as well, so that would work. So I think I'm going to go for the Fresh Freesia. So my basic card is just a straightforward half an A4 sheet. So if you just pretend that this is Fresh Freesia, so that would be the whole of my A4. So I've cut it in half on the long side at 14.9. So it's 14.9 by 21 centimetres. And then I'm going to score this just to make my base card. So I want to score it in half at 10.5, because this is 21 across. So I score it at 10.5 centimetre. Just like that. Fold that. Like so. Get the bone folder out as well. There we go. And then I need some basic white to go on the inside, and I need some basic white to be stamping on. So I'm going to use that piece of scrap to actually stamp on. And then I just need to find some more basic white to go on the inside of the card. As I said, I was a bit flustered today because I got late in because of dropping my husband off, so hence I thought I had everything ready, but obviously not. So I got my A4 sheet of basic white, and I only need it to be 14.4 centimetres by 10. I want to cut it slightly smaller than the inside of the card so that it will sit inside. Like that. So that will sit in there, and I will decorate that in a minute. So I've got my base card, I've got my innie. I've chosen my 2 sheets of double-sided paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 sheet that will go and be glued directly onto the card front. So I know this is 10.5 wide, but I'm just going to cut it slightly wider than I need. And I've got that piece left, and this is slightly longer than I need, but I'm not going to trim it just yet. So that's going to go on the front, and then this piece is, from memory, it should be 9.5 by 13.9. Let's see if I'm going to, oh yeah, I am right. So it's 9.5 centimetres wide, and it's 13.9 tall, seeing as it's portrait. And I'm going to use that piece, that side up. So I find if you're cutting paper, the side that you want to show, if you have that up facing you, then you'll find that when it cuts, then you can see here that this is kind of a bit raised. So you want that on the bottom, so you won't be able to see it. So that's going to sit on there after I have cut the hole in it. Then the last thing I need to do, I already have some here, and I haven't decided whether or not I want to put the paper on or whether I want to stamp, but at the moment I'm just going to cut a piece, then I know that I have that. So that can go on the inside should I want to. Now the fun part starts. So I don't need my trimmer anymore. I do need my die. So this is the circle die, the largest circle die that fits, that cut out this particular one. And you want it so that you're going to cut off the corner like so. You don't want to make it too small because you want the piece that you're cutting out to be large enough to fit whatever image, sentiment, because you don't have to do this with images. You could just simply stamp a sentiment and cut it out, or die cut it and put it in that space. It's really up to you. So I'm just simply going to run that through my well, I've actually got my big shot here because it's got a magnetic plate. So this is my old machine. Oh, it seems to be that I've got a bit of stuff going on at the moment. My internet's obviously playing up, so it's raining somewhere, no doubt. Now you could just place the whole thing on top and cut it out, and that, which means that it'll actually lop off that little corner there. Now I opted to, if I just lift the corner through, then I know that when I come to cut this, it's not going to cut that corner off. And then this piece I could use if I wanted to. I could get a smaller die, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So let me get my, actually I'm not even going to get my machine, I'm just going to stand up and do that. So it's to one side, so excuse me for 2 seconds whilst I do this. So I'm just going to cut that aperture out. I was going to say like so, I haven't got it out of the machine yet. So like so, so it looks like that. And then this is the piece that has come out the corner here. Now if I grab one now that is a couple of sizes down on circle wise, so if I pull these out back in, so let's see. That's the next size down. So if I wanted to cut it, I could, but I think I'm going to go to the one after that, which is going to be that one. So you kind of want to make sure that you've got an equal border all the way around. So I'm just going to use this to cut out this circle so that I can show you what I was talking about. At least that was the plan. Just going to do that. So that's what's left of the thing. So I've now got a circle that I know that will fit perfectly in here. And then I could, if I wanted to, put my sentiment on there, or you could put an image on there and put it together and use that, but I'm not going to use that. I will save that and use it for a different card. So that is that. We have that. And then, there we go. I was panicking then, thinking, what have I done with everything? So we've got our piece that's going to go on the card front. That's going to sit on top. So you'll see the dots from around the edge and also in here. So let's just do some gluing. So use my Tombow, use the wet glue. It's a lot easier to use wet glue on this simply because you've got some wiggle room, because you want to make sure that it is on straight. You don't want to have this edge here over the edge of the card. You want it to go directly up to that centre fold. And if you can line up the top or the bottom, so that means you don't actually have to cut that piece, that's even better. So that should be good. And then you'll see I've just got a slight piece that I need to cut off at one end and along the edge. Get my scissors. So I'm going to do that now before I forget. I'm just going to take that piece off, like so. I could get my trimmer out, but this sort of thing I kind of prefer to use scissors. She says, but you need to make sure that it does go straight. I think I'll let the glue dry and then I'll trim it. That'll be the easiest thing to do. So then this piece is going to go on. Now, if you want to add a ribbon or anything like that, then now is the time to do it. Now I have some fresh freesia ribbon. So this piece uses some of the basic white crinkled seam binding, which is quite sweet. You could use baker's twine, you can use whatever it is that you like. So I'm actually going to use some of the fresh freesia ribbon. You don't have to wrap it all the way around, you could just simply do that and then tie a bow. But every so often I go a bit nuts and say, okay, right, I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough. Get rid of that. Now this is where everything falls apart, because I can tie bows, but I can't necessarily tie bows when people are watching. So I'm just going to have to pretend that you're there, not there even. So I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm happy with that. I think that will work. Now, if I wanted to, if I was not sure, you can pull these things around to your heart's content. What I tend to do is I'll grab the two pieces that have sort of folded over and then the two ends, and then I'll just pull and then start tweaking. So it would be good if you used a glue dot or something just to hold the ribbon down, which is what I'm going to do. I've got so many things sitting on different chairs that I can pull in and out. You wouldn't think that I had a big craft room. I still managed to have everything all over the place. So normally I would take the ribbon to it, but I'm just going to do it this way around. There we go. So that's going to hold that down. So there's my ribbon. So that's going to sit on here. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to add some, add this to the card front using some dimensionals. You don't have to, you could glue it directly down and have your focal point then raised up. It's really up to you. And in fact, you know what, I think maybe, no, I am going to use some dimensionals. So I'm just going to grab those and we're going to put some on. And you can go, but I would suggest you put one in the middle just to hold the ribbon in place that way round. You're not going to be able to get, well, you could get dimensional right in those very corners, but don't stress it if you can't. Could get the mini ones out. Do I have any? Oh, I do have some mini ones. Even those you might end up having to like cut down. So you can get a mini one pretty close into the corners, like so. I'm going to take those off. Try not to fling them all over the place. I know they seem to walk around the house completely on their own. But hey, let's try. I'm going to my New Year's resolution is to try and contain them. Huh? I don't think that'll ever happen. If anything, because the dog comes down here and he'll just wander around and he'll pick them up in his fur. So we're going to put this on. So I'll try and have equal borders, top, bottom, left and right. Don't always succeed. I think that's pretty close. It might be a little bit wonky actually now that I say it and I can see it. If you just, the dimensionals are not too bad. As long as you don't push them down straight off, you know, you can just lay it flat on top. You should be good to go. You should be able to get away with lifting them up. If you find that you have actually sort of put them down and been quite heavy about it, then the trick is to use your paper snips and to go under. Well, I'm just looking at my video and it's talk about playing catch up. So you could go in here and take them off, and then when you turn it over you can roll the actual dimensionals off the paper and things like that. So right, okay, so this one has the little owl with a bow tie, but we have 3 that we can play with. So we've got one that has a party hat on. This is the one that is on this card. And then there's this little one here who's flying. So I'm going to use him. So I'm just going to stamp him on some scrap, like I said. So that's him. I haven't even put the backings on my stamps yet. I guess I should, but hey. And I'm going to use some tuxedo black, so it's Memento. This means, because it's Memento, it's water-based. And the reason I'm using the water-based is because I want to use my alcohol markers. So I'm going to use my Stampin' blends. So there he is. He's all stamped up. And then what colour are we going to do him? I think I'm going to do him crumb cake. Let's see now. That's a light crumb cake and that's the dark crumb cake. Okay, let's figure it out. So I'm going to go dark on the top of his head. She says, get the lid off. There we go. So I'm going to go dark on the top of his head, and it does look quite dark, but don't panic. And because it's alcohol markers, it will spread and colour very easily, and you won't notice any lines and things like that. And I'm not the best colourer. I'm going to put his chest in the darker colour. I mean, I could if I really wanted to do him purple, you know, fresh freesia and pale papaya, but I don't think I will. I think it might be a little bit too odd. That's that. And then I'm going to use a light crumb cake. And the one thing I would say about when you're colouring him, obviously you don't, on his body, you don't want to be, you can take the light over the dark, that's not an issue. And when it comes to his head, like here, here and here, and also the bottom of his body, it doesn't matter if you go over. Actually, I don't want to do his feet in this colour, that's okay. I'm going to use a different colour. It doesn't matter if you're going to go over the line, simply because you're cutting him out. So don't fret it if you've kind of gone over and start to panic. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, if you're doing a really large flower right in the middle of your card front, then it does matter. But here, it doesn't. Just kind of want them a bit darker in places, but I only want to use the lighter ones. If I just go over them in various places, you can build up the layers of colour quite easily. Right, his feet and beak. So I've got here that's the light pumpkin pie. And I've also got the pale papaya. Yeah, so I'm going to use the darker one of the pale papaya. And now I know why this internet is playing up, because I can just hear the rain and it's absolutely chucking it down out there. So that's his beak. And then I think I want to colour his eyes as well, but I'm not sure. I'm going to go, that's mint macaron. I was going to go the light colour because I'm really not too sure. So I'm just going to, he's got green eyes. Like that. I'm not going to colour the whites of his eyes. I think that would look a bit odd. So that's my little flying owl. So then I need to cut him out. Little bit carefully, but not so that you actually have to go in every, like I'm not going to go where that little top piece there is between his legs. Don't think I need to do that. So this is why I was saying it doesn't matter if you go over the lines, because you will notice that it just means that the white's not showing. It's just the same colour as the body. So from that point of view, it's actually quite good. I quite often, if I've done that, and I don't want any white showing around the edges, I will go back with my blends and just colour in those white pieces so that you can't see. I think I might do it with this. I'm just going to do a little bit of wiggly around those feathers. So this fussy cutting is very forgiving, especially if you're colouring stuff like this. So this one, like this bit at the top here of his head, I would colour those white pieces in with the darker of the crumb cake blends. Don't know, we call him, I don't think he's really a tufted owl, tufted eared owl. When I was in the States last summer, and in fact actually here as well, we have owls that live in the woods by us, and we don't really tend to see them. When I was in the States, we had one that decided it was a really good idea to nest in a tree right outside the house. So if you'd go out very early morning or quite late at night, there'd be a bit of flapping and fluttering, and then this thing would just go soaring off and frighten the living daylights out of you. But the ones that we have here, don't really see them, but you do hear them. And I always thought an owl went to-it, to-oo, but it doesn't. Apparently, one goes the to-it, and its mate does the to-oo. So if you hear to-it, to-oo, it's not actually one owl, it's two. And they're talking to each other. There you go, interesting fact for the day. Oops, I just realised I missed a bit. This bit I will take out. There we go. So he's going to go in here. And as I said, I want to colour the white pieces so that you don't really notice them. So we're going to go a lighter colour here. I would use my brush end, but I'm running out of ink. Didn't hear me say that. So I'm going to have to just use this end. And then this bit at the top can be, I can get the lid off, that is. God, dearie me. This bit here can be the darker bits. Like that. And you don't really notice, she says. It's actually just one little bit annoying me still. And that's that bit there, it's a bit too big. There we go, right. Oh, and I need my pale papaya. My dark pale papaya. Not at all confusing. There we go. So he's going to go on here, or she's going to go on here, like that. So I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. And then I need to figure out what sentiment I'm going to put on it. Go on here, kind of central, I think, like that. Now I like the hoot hoot, but I don't really want that "you're so cute" on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to get a block. And you can do this one of two ways. That's my scrap. So you can use some washi tape, or masking tape, or post-it note, whatever you have to hand. Put it over the piece of wording that you don't want. And then simply ink up the bit that you do. The only thing you have to remember to do is to remove that piece of masking tape or whatever it is that you've used. I did stamp the other day and I forgot to do that. I was, start again. So then you just have the words that you want. So I've got the hoot hoot. Or, which there can then be die cut or fussy cut or whatever. I've got a die here that I'm going to use, I think, which is one that I've used quite a bit. And I'm going to centre it so it's like that. Or, as I was saying, you could just simply stamp the whole thing and then just simply cut around the bit that you want. But I'm actually going to do that. Where's my washi tape, which I'm going to use to hold this die in place. To go there. Now that die comes from, this is what I have to remember, is the one that I've had out. I want to say Sentimental Park. But I'll just have to check. I'll just take that off. There we go, hoot hoot. So I'm going to put that on here like that, and then I can add out on an embellishment on there. So I only want to put the dimensionals down one end. Make sure I put it in the right end. That will be fine. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this end here, just to make sure it stays down in place. You don't have to do the glue. I just want to be sure that it's just not going to go walkabouts. So let's see, where am I going to put this? I might just tuck it under him. Oops. In which case you kind of need to slightly manoeuvre it. Like so. I think that works. Hoot hoot. So there we go. So that's kind of looks, yeah, it's kind of what I did with the other one. And then the inside that I need to do still. So I could stamp. So I could stamp him again in the corner or whichever corner. But I'm actually going to cheat. I'm just going to use the paper. Stamping is nice. If you've got lots of time, it's great. You can stamp and colour. I think you've already seen me colour one, so I don't think you really need to watch me colour another one. But they're good fun, and you can go to town with these. You can make them whatever colour you want at the end of the day. If you're brave enough. I'm not brave. I might try it and see what happens, but I tend to be a bit orthodox when it comes to colouring animals and things. They have to be like colours that you would think that they would be, or pretty close to it. Maybe not the green eyes. In fact, I just realised the one that I did, that I showed you earlier, I didn't even colour the eyes on that one. Maybe I should. So that's going to go on the inside of my card. And of course you can always stamp the owl onto the envelope. Just remember that if you're going to do that and then you're going to colour it, then you want to be sure to put something inside the envelope in the corner or along the edge where you're going to be colouring, because the last thing you need is to have the blends soak through. That would be a bit of a disaster. I'll just quickly check. So this, if you haven't seen it, is the mini catalogue. And I was going to check on the Regency Park. No, I was wrong. It wasn't Sentimental Park. But there you go. I'm quite happy to admit that. I'll find the die, and I'll put it on the supply list so you know which one it was that I used. Because I don't have everything in this catalogue, believe it or not. Quite like to, but I'm not going to. So that is today's card, which basically it's a cutout to create your focal point. This was the one that I made, as I said, as part of Acorns, our craft and chat. Actually, that's what I haven't done, is I haven't put any embellishments on. I'm trying to see. Oh, there they are. I'm trying to find them. Here we go. Now I do have some pale papaya ones, but they're retired. But hey, I need to use them up. What have we got here? That's not what I want. Oh, I might use these. So these are the heart pearls, which I think are very cute. So I think I might put one of those on. I'm going to put it on the end there. I am going to use an actual pearly one, so it's kind of, there we go. And then maybe I'll put some pearls on the rest, just normal pearls. Yes, this is my collection of pearls, because I don't know, I seem to, when I do card in a couple, I take them and then I end up with all sorts of bits. Some really tiny ones, others not so tiny. So I'm just going to put a few on here. I think they're quite cute in these little crosses. I'm just going to stick to the darker coloured. So 1, 2, and I'm really funny about having odd numbers as well. But I've got so many of these little ones I can kind of go to town with them. I think I'm going to go put one down there. There we go. Right, that's it. I am not going to add any more because I think I'll end up ruining it. So this is today's card. So we've got the adorable owls and some pearls, dandy design paper, so both the owls and the paper from Sale-A-Bration. Got some fresh freesia ribbon, and we've got some fresh freesia card stock and some little pearls. So as I said, this is the heart. Hopefully you can see it. It's very sweet. And then this is the one that I made at the beginning of the week. So this is more granny apple green and fresh freesia. And then, as I said, I've made some others. Had a bit of a circle theme going on. So this was another card that I made. So these are the blues. So this was that one. And in fact, I'm going to colour his eyes as well. And you may recognise this. This was our craft and chat film last week. It was a sketches. So this is a sketch that we used last week, and I've just replicated it again this week, but this time I've used the owls. And then I've created this one as well, which is a lot of fun. So I've got some little owls peering out, and they both got their party hats on. And this is a die, just so that you know. And you'll find it in the annual catalogue. And it's called Picture This. And it looks like this. So there's one portion cuts circles, the other portion cuts rectangles. And then this particular one, what I did was I cut the circles in the Pale Papaya paper, and then I stamped some owls, and then the circles that came out of these circles I used to create. I drew around so that I knew where I wanted the owl to end, because I wanted to make sure on this one, for example, that I had the pom pom on the top of his party hat in the circle, whereas that one's been cut off. And then when I came to put them on, because I glued this directly to the other piece, I just made sure that I hadn't glued the edges too firmly, and then I just tucked them underneath so that it looks like they are peeking out the holes. So so that's my third card. So that's my third design. So I've got 3 different designs here. 4 cards though, because I'll show you how I made that one. So hope you've enjoyed that. This will get uploaded to YouTube when I get a chance. Obviously I'll post the cards that I've just shared with you now, including these ones as well, on Facebook. And next week is, it's the 18th next week, which means it's going to be first of our Card and a Cuppers for the year. Wow, crumbs. So I'll be over at Home Grange at 10 o'clock and live on here at 2:30 for the virtual event. So I hope you get to join either the virtual event. If you want to come along to the in-person event, I do have a couple of spare kits. So can you just drop me a message via Facebook or email me and just say I want to come along, and that way then I will make sure that I do have enough. If needs be, I'll cut a few more. Okay, so we've got Sale-A-Bration on. So as I said, the owls and the paper are in the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. Runs till the end of February. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, classes. So the first class I've got is actually in February, and we will be using the Regency Park suite. So this is the Regency Park suite. And in the morning, I'll be featuring the Petal Park bundle, and in the afternoon, I will be featuring the Sentimental Park bundle. So the morning bundle is punch, and the afternoon bundle are dies. So that's now open. Booking closes next week on the 19th, so that I've got time to order everything. Each class is £30. If you want to stay the day and do both, then there's a £5 discount. If you want to add the bundle, that's great, because it means that you'll earn celebration items, or if you want to stay morning and afternoon, that will also mean you will earn a celebration item. And I'm also doing a kit as well. So whatever class you want, be it the morning one or the afternoon or both, there will be a kit that I can also post to you, and you will have full instructions that you can follow to recreate the projects. So I think that's it for today. As I said, next week we've got card and a cuppa, which means virtual card and a cuppa in the afternoon. If you've got any questions in the meantime, please let me know. I'm only too happy to answer any that you have. And I'm going to leave you now, and have a good week. Take care. Bye.